So I do know that so many things happened around Jacaranda, but the thing that really stands out and sticks out for me is when Raila talked of giving the government or giving the United Nations and the Commonwealth at least 2 weeks to acknowledge that the Kenyan election, the Kenyan 2022 election, remains unresolved and a matter that requires diplomatic intervention. And so somebody might be wondering, how is Israel going to pull through this international diplomatic endeavor? And how this happens is that this came after Raila was coming from South Africa. So, who is the president of South Africa? It is Cyril Ramaphosa, his friend since their youthful days. Remember that Jaramogi, who was a key opposition and also government figure in Kenya, had very close working relations with the African National Congress and also with the Chama cha Mapinduzi. So Jaramogi was a personal friend of Julius Nyerere, and even at some point Nyerere came to Kenya, and it's when he discovered that Jaramogi was indeed a capitalist. As opposed to what he had thought of Jaramogi being a socialist. So what is gonna happen is that all these friends Raila has across the globe, we're talking about the South African president, the Indian prime minister, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivorian president, Tanzania, African Union, Congo. He has friends in all these places. The UK, he has friends in the UK Parliament. There's as the truth comes out. Remember, Baba has the burden of proof. And the truth has begun to come out of weeks and months of intense work to try and identify or trace what really happened on August 15th. And so the truth is beginning to come out. It's well documented. A whistleblower is coming out and telling us that Raila won with a gap of 3 million votes. So to erase a gap of 3 million votes, some crime must have really happened, some psychopathic kind of crime. A huge crime scene occurred at the Bombers of Kenya. And so there's a cache of evidence that you can get from that. Remember, all these were transmitted through the cloud. And whatever goes through the cloud, of course, cannot stay secret. And so we're going to have backdoor diplomatic engagements with, all Raila friends across the globe, exerting pressure on major capitals. So when I say backdoor diplomatic engagements, I mean having probably Cyril Ramaphosa engage his South African um, ambassador to like Washington, to try and exert pressure on those capitals, also London and different places. And then you have India doing the same thing. You have Tanzania, you have Cote d'Ivoire doing the same thing, on behalf of Baba, to help Baba get justice for his stolen election. Now, somebody is wondering, so how does Baba become president in such a case? So Ruto, if confronted with the truth, he would be told, so this is where you went wrong. You guys bungled the election. You are enemies of democracy. We can have a fresh election in which you don't participate. And so we end up with a fresh election in which Ruto is kept out, is disqualified on account of gross misconduct. And so he would have the option of either accepting that, or things like the Hague may be dangled and stuff like that. And so he may end up being pressured to drop out, and then we would have a fresh election in which Ruto is not a participant, and then Raila and another candidate from, say, Kenyakwanza comes on board, and they run on a fresh election. The other option would be a middle ground in which Raila and Ruto are forced onto the negotiating table of course, one where it is umpired, by the international community. Um, or the other option would be for them to come up with a transitional government, um, either established by the two, in which the two are co-equal partners in a co-presidency, along the lines of the 2008 National Accord, in which the two of them establish a government that is along the lines of national unity, or also that would serve about 5 years, or serve for a transitional period to prepare the nation for a fresh election. So I'm talking about a transitional government that would prepare the nation for a fresh election, probably in 1 to 2 years. Alternatively, we may just have the international community negotiate and have the status quo remain, or have a fresh election that is supervised by the international community. And in some cases, if the truth or the facts are so glaring, then Ruto would be pushed to resign from office and be banished from participating in the election. And then, or rather, another scenario would be Baba is declared the duly elected president, and then they would find a way around the constitution to do that, and then work towards fixing the constitution so that that does not ever occur again. And I think that's my takeaway from the Jacaranda fiasco. Thank you, guys.